Commanders in Madrid, on their way there. Anthony Armstrong, former Redskins wide receiver, and my co-host on the Commanders Squad podcast jumps on with us. And listen, Anthony, we can get to the Commanders. We can get to everything that's gone on. But let's not forget that you're a Mavs fan. Nico Harrison getting fired today. Was that a shock to you? Could you believe that?
Man, sometimes changes have to be made, and it may be something that was long overdue for some Mavs fans, but hey, they made the right decision because, golly, it's been a rough couple of years.
You know that because of the response or because the hole that was so deep?
Because of the hole, man. When you trade your young superstar like a Luka Doncic, man, that's tough. And then down here in Texas, man, they love hard on their teams. Yeah, he broke something up, and imagine if they were to go off and just randomly trade Jayden Daniels. Like, that would be what type of a gut punch it is, Doc. That's what it felt like. And, fan base was not being friendly. And frankly, the start of the season hasn't been so hot for the Mavs. So, maybe a little change of scenery and new people in the building can kind of get some dubs for the Mavericks.
Yeah, 3-8 start for the Mavs isn't good, but neither is a 3-7 start for the Commanders. You said something to me Sunday that I thought was really kind of telling when we did our show, and you were like, "Is this what it felt like watching some of these teams lose that I played on back in the day?" Which, first, as I established, you were never the enemy, don't you worry. But watching this Commanders team now, Anthony, at 3-7, the big thing that stood out to me has really been just this feeling of meltdown. It didn't feel that way before until Detroit, and that's what concerns me with the change in the routine and the travel and the disruption going to Madrid, and a Dolphins team on top of that, too, that just beat the Bills and was real cocky in the locker room if you saw those videos after the game.
Yeah, I saw the video. I felt good for them, honestly. They needed that release, the Dolphins did, because their season is... Whereas they haven't had the injury that obviously Tyreek Hill got hurt, but they haven't had as many injuries as Washington coming in. You got to think both of these teams felt they were going to have some pretty good seasons, and it hadn't been going that way. But shoot, Miami was able to get up for a division opponent, right? They really needed to get that win for themselves and for Mike McDaniel. So shout out to them for that. But Washington, frankly, Nick, I think that travel could be good. Sometimes you need to get away. You know what I mean? You need to get into a new time zone, frankly, new language. Folks don't know what they're saying over there, right? So they can go over there and really just focus on football and hopefully come back with a W. I think Miami's a team that's susceptible. They've shown that, Tua could get the defense, give them some interception, give them some turnovers. So being able to get a new scenery, new place to play football for a bit, it could be something to help this team just kind of get back on track. And I think the way the season's been going, Doc, this is going to help them grow together even more. You know what I mean? There's been so much adversity that they've dealt with. Now they get to go and be next to each other and lift each other up and kind of grow for the rest of the season.
If you, all right, you want to go, Doc? Or you're thinking about something here. Why are you laughing?
No. Keep going.
Okay. Doc, see, this is, Anthony. Doc just randomly starts laughing, and I want to know what's going on in his head. And he's like, no, I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to say anything. Here's what I will say this, though. And listen, Doc and I very much disagree on this. You already know where I go, but we're going to have it for this show here. I am insanely concerned about Jayden Daniels coming back to a season that's completely lost. But I understand from the player's perspective, selling the feeling of giving up on a season if he's healthy and can't get out there and play. But at the same time, there's the worry of the injury, and is it meaningless? Does the risk outweigh the reward? All of those things are what's on my head. I don't have to make the decision. What would you do if you were in that position, Anthony?
Jayden can stay over there on the sideline with a headset on. That's how I feel.
Yes.
I just the flukiness of the season lets me know that he don't need to get on the field. I saw a video, a fan rushed the field. He tried to get to the side. Dude pulled a hamstring. I think he's out for 3 or 4 weeks. Don't put the kid back on the field. It just doesn't make sense. I know that there's a point where you want to see, well, if everybody's healthy, let's just end on a good note. I don't even want to risk it at this point. To me, right now, it's all about evaluation. You can still, go out there and try to win ball games. I mean, that's the point of playing. But just the fact of risking injury, I wouldn't want to do it. I know O-line's been playing pretty well so far, but I just, it doesn't make sense to me to put him back out there when the season is pointless at this juncture.
I'm not going to disagree from your standpoint, but my leader, it's like seeing Patton come out without a firearm. You can't be the dude if you're not in full metal jacket. And thank God, he doesn't think the way we're talking. He'd be insulted by this.
Oh, of course. Oh, I get that.
It ain't for him. I know you didn't do it for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. Now, what would make me swing your side is if my offensive line was depleted. Then I would protect him. We're big physical freaks. We just need to adjust the plays that are called, in my opinion. I'm not happy with our approach, but I'll keep our people. Because I think if we turn this into a boxing match, be different. I'm Cus Kamado right now. I'm just trying to get you to work the body. That's all I'm trying to get him to do. Win from the inside out, because we got big physical people, and we got them sprinting out. I just want to put us in attack mode. And I'm not convinced yet that this offensive brain trust is capable of scouting itself. Because that's what it looks like now. Like they're not scouting themselves.
I can agree with what you say, and I know what you're getting behind, but that's even more of a reason, because if they haven't shown the ability to change their play calling tendencies, then that's even more of a reason to keep the guy on the sideline. Because frankly, it hasn't necessarily been that he's gotten hit in the pocket. That's been the injury.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean?
That's true.
It's been moving around. It's been, and frankly, we can then say, okay, throw the ball away or throw the ball to somebody a little bit sooner in a couple of spots. Then you don't get hit. But, I think it's more learning. You got to see somebody run the offense and then just watch Marcus do it. Watch him stay in the pocket a little bit longer. Watch him operate it and learn by doing. Learn by watching in this sense. We're going to get plenty of reps in there all season. It just right now, it just don't make too much sense, man, to go put that nice Ferrari back on the road one more time.
I'm glad you feel the same way as me, but that's also, as we've talked about, scars from previous eras in this organization, and I will fully admit that those absolutely exist. Talking to Anthony Armstrong in the
both of y'all sound like parents.
And that's fine. Listen, we care, man. We care about our Ferrari, okay? We want it to be pristine and shiny and healthy and get a regular oil change. I don't know if you need to do that with another Ferrari because I don't have one, but I'm just guessing that that's the case. All right, let's look at the game this weekend, Anthony, and again, talking to Anthony Armstrong here on The Fan. Nick Ashew, Doc Walker in for Grant and Danny. We know a lot of names are out. At this point, that's been the regular every single week with this team. But, you and I have certainly on Commander Squad on our podcast talked a lot about sort of the next guy to step up. And even with the lack of depth, there's always somebody. Just from an offensive perspective, obviously as a former wide receiver yourself, is there somebody that you look at now and say, like, this is their chance? Because half of that offense is out, especially when it comes to wide receivers. I mean, Traylon Burks has even got a broken finger now. Guy just got here, and he's already cursed with an injury.
He's out.
Man, I saw that, and I was like, where did you get hurt?
Right.
And this is not making shade. I hope he'll heal up and come back. And he was making an impact, so I really thought he was going to have a good finish to the season. But I love to see that Jaylen Lane was able to get deep. And I love the fact that Marcus Mariota was throwing the ball deep, so I would love to see him continue his success and do it over there in Spain. You even saw John Bates catch a pass or two, and then even a Ben Sinnott get into the end zone. And one of our favorites, Chris Rodriguez.
Yes.
Hello.
It seems like he may be auditioning for somebody else, but he needs to be the lead dog. I think he's the physical tone that you need to bring and run the rock. I think that's correr in Espanol. You need to run the ball. Run it, okay? That's what you do over there. Run the rock and don't have to get too cute with it. But on the offensive side, man, let me see some Jaylen Lane. And frankly, if we're being real, anybody that's out here, this is your opportunity. Robbie Chosen, these guys were on the outskirts on the free agency list, and now they're getting to play. I was thinking at the beginning of the season, Jaylen Lane probably was going to be the fourth or fifth receiver, and now he's getting all these starting reps. So this is your chance, my man. Make the most of it.
Can't argue that. People have to be allowed to play to bring out the best of them. Some guys aren't practice. They're just practice. Practice does nothing for them. They're just doing this to get your approval. But the game brings out the best of them. You can't have 70,000 in practice. It's the biggest adrenaline rush a guy can get. That's why people transform themselves on game day. If they had 70,000 in practice, you might get the same thing, but you don't. It's that uniform. It's game day, man. And I just think we got to give our backs. And Rodriguez, I said it on X. I was like, I couldn't believe he was in the game. I never seen him really do anything wrong, but yet he seems like he's being punished all the time. So if they can live with it, I can live with it. Because it's going to cost them their jobs if they're wrong.
Anthony, you said something. We got a couple minutes here. Auditioning for another team. Did you say that? Somebody just said that. It's like, yeah, that was you. Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah. And that actually, you know how I feel about it. That concerns me. What is it? Because, again, you're just saying this here too. It's like people are surprised to see Chris Rodriguez on the field. And yet when he's out there, he generally performs well. He generally gives you what you're looking for. What is it? Why do you, and again, I know some of this is speculation unless you're talking to the team behind the scenes, but it's like, why don't we see more of Chris Rodriguez on the field?
Man, I'm shrugging my shoulders over here, we're on camera, but I have no clue. Obviously not privy to being in the building, but I've always said that the stuff you see on game day is usually hours and hours of people doing this habitually. Mm-hmm. But he's performing well, so that makes you think he's doing the similar stuff in practice. He probably just isn't getting the opportunity. They're probably trying to push a different narrative and get somebody else going, but in my estimation, you need to go out here and try to get this W, man. Go for what's going to help you win right now, and that would be Chris Rodriguez. Just how he sets things up, even if you want Bill the ball. And I want Bill to have success, but he's very much a good counterpunch. All right, we need that, as Doc said earlier, you need that body punch, and that's Chris Rodriguez. And then you go with the counterpunch and a little razzle-dazzle with Bill. Doing it the other way around, you getting a little bantamweight getting knocked out in the first round.
Anthony Armstrong, the original 1-3. Good to talk to you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good.
All right.
Best of the family.
New episode of Commander Squad also coming out tomorrow, just in case you're wondering here. I'm glad you said that too, Doc, about Chris Rodriguez, because it's like everybody here is sitting here just, it's like, well, I'd love to see more of him. He is the guy that I've just been pounding the table for, and we just don't see it. And it blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah, Bill's doing to get better, but Bill's still trying not to fumble.
Yeah.
So now he's running with something on his mind. When he was free flow, you can't even make it up. He's slithery, but right now he's smart. He's not trying to turn it over.
But he's also thinking too much.
And it's taking away his instinctiveness.
100%.
He's not the same guy. So while he works on that mentally, put the beats in there.